What's up guys, Cloudie here, checking in from the America server, and this is gonna be a quick video on Kibera, just getting a quick insight to him, how he looks like, what his skill do, what his equipment is about, and so on and so on. First we have to get him actually to see what we can do about him, so let's just buy him. So now we have Kibera here, with which I have again all the heroes, so is that? So nothing to get from the inn anymore. That's kind of frustrating. Okay, so he just killed all the Imperial soldiers. For the sword? Alright, so yeah, he's a sword maniac. That's a good looking sword. But his face is kind of strange. Whatever. So, Kibera. With his 3 demonic swords. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Gonna make him preferred so it's easier to find a god. Preferred. Okay, so let's just check his skills first. So you better pay attention. That's his first skill. Attacks an enemy. This costs 2 mana and is 10 seconds cooldown. Attacks an enemy 11 times and summons a dark whirlpool for 4 seconds that attacks the target and nearby enemies 8 times, dealing a total of something damage. Okay, if you have this nocturnal demonic sword selected, then the damage of normal so auto attacks should be increased, and each normal attack reduces cooldown of this skill. So essentially, if you have enough speed on him, he can spam these skills, and this is 19 attacks total plus the auto attack, so that should be pretty good for shredding hit count shields, which you sometimes do, like in Satria for instance, or Tearfess. So he might be good at that. Depends how the damage scales. Now his second skill, let's have some fun. 15 seconds cooldown, 2 mana. Dispels all negative effects from self and turns into Shadow Dominion state for 5 seconds. While in Shadow Dominion state, attack is increased by something and HP does not fall below 10%. After skill use, full of openings can be used within 5 seconds. If you have the Umbral Demonic Sword selected, then the mana cost of this skill is reduced by 1. And upgrading the skill itself increases the attack boost. Alright, well this is pretty much a PvP skill. So I wonder if you could like cheese certain boss mechanics with this, like, because we will get into the, I did check a bit his talents and stuff, so we will get into that later. Okay, so say hello to death. Oh yeah, and we didn't check how this looks like. So half full of openings, sorry I forgot to mention this one. So moves to the back of the enemy. This has no mana cost actually. With the highest attack, marking the target with dark corrosion and reducing the attack speed of the marked target by 400. Kibera's attacks will prioritize the marked target. Alright, but how does he prioritize? Because he is not ranged, so what happens if he is like moved away from the target? Will he just follow? I wonder, we need to test that. Yeah, if an enemy is inflicted with dark corrosion cannot receive positive effects and have their mana reduced by 250 every 1 second. Alright, well, this is definitely a PvP skill, so I just met a Kibera in League of Victory and, well, he didn't really do anything, but that doesn't mean that he can't when built properly. Okay, say hello to death. Sticks Darkslayer Demonic Sword Veil into the ground, creating a shockwave, so AoE damage in a circular range, and inflicts stun for 5 seconds. Afterwards, for 10 seconds, unloads Dark Thunder to a random enemy every 2 seconds, dealing damage and inflicting stun. So this will be like 5 attacks total and stunning. So it's like micro stuns, which is good for interrupts. If Darkslayer Demonic Will, so the third sword is selected, the mana cost of all skills is increased by 1, but damage inflicted by this skill will ignore defense, and the heal rate of the enemies hit by Dark Thunder will be reduced, but for 5 seconds. So this is a long cooldown skill, so I'm not quite sure if this is good for actual healing reduction where it matters. This might be useful on Xanadus, I guess, but okay. So oh yeah, and there is the 3 demonic sword skill. Oh, and this is just increasing the attack and defense boost. Okay. So what this does is at the beginning of the battles you need to select a sword that you will be using. Until then you are immune to CC, but you cannot recover mana. And question is whether, for instance, Soul Spring Water works, or you do not get the mana from that either. Have to check again how that works, and what happens if you have one of the perks that auto selects the sword. Does the selection happen before you gain the mana or not? We will see about that. So if you select Nocturnal Demonic Sword, which is for S1, increases attack speed by 300 and enhances the effect of you better pay attention. Yep. For Umbral Demonic Sword, increases defense by 80. I guess this scales with level when he goes up, so we will check it when I have leveled him up. And if you have the Darkslayer sword, increases attack by 120 and enhances the effect. Okay. So let's just check how he looks like. Why did I do that? We could check the cutscene, but won't go into that now. Let's just see the skill info. So in this test dummy phase, you already have maximum mana, which is kind of curious. So you have to select one of the swords. Doesn't really matter which one we select now. Let's just go with this. So this increases the mana cost of each skill. So I assume that it actually increases the damage of all of them. So this will be probably his DPS stance. This is for PvP, and the first one will be maybe a support unit. So let's just check this skill. Dark Whirlpool. His auto attacks are pretty flashy, and yeah, that's a very long animation actually, if you look at it. This is super fast, his S2, and his S3 is also very long. That's a lot of long cast time, but it's flashy. Yeah, that's a lot of attacks there, and the storm. So this is how his attacks look like. Okay. So generally, other than his S2, his casts are really slow and take a long cast time. But his S2 is super fast, which is the cleanse effect and the immortal thing, which is pretty dope. So if he has high damage, he can really wreck your backline DPS fast, I guess. Okay, so let's see what perks he has. So for skill 1, reduces mana cost. Gains immunity to CC for the duration of the skill. I don't know. I mean, maybe in some PvFRs. In PvE you usually have CC immunity. And in PvP, I don't know if this skill really matters. Maybe you can chain it with like his S2 and then become immune to CC and then hit the backliner with S1. Maybe he can chain a lot of CC immunity. So when you use half full of openings, inflict silence to all enemies. Okay. So that's a 1 mana skill silence if you pick his S2 sword. And what of this? When there are 3 allies or less, the effect of Shadow Dominion applies to all allies. Shadow Dominion is the cleanse. So Shadow Dominion state attack is increased, HP does not fall below. So essentially in Guild War, you can make your entire team immortal for 5 seconds. And I wonder if the cleanse also works for everyone or just himself. But that's pretty dope actually. He Some of his skills are pretty much tailored towards Guild War. You can see that if you look at them. Okay, so his S3s can dispel. That means he has a self cleanse and a dispel. PvP, very much PvP, because he can technically counter bow airs and stuff like that. Increases mana cost by 1 and increases damage by 100. Yeah, PvE. So I guess in PvE this is his main nuke skill. So if you want to do damage with him, this is what you would select. Okay, so 3 demonic swords, increase his own attack by 20% and automatically selects nocturnal demonic sword. Okay, so yeah, 20% attack, not bad, but this will use his S1 skill, so this is more like a supporting. Recovers own mana by 150 every sec and automatically selects Darkslayer Demonic Sword Veil at the beginning of the first battle. So this gives him mana regen, and that's kind of curious, like, because this is the sword, the third sword. And one would have thought that in his DPS form, I guess this is his DPS form, so to say, that should get the attack bonus and not this one, because it seems this one is more about spamming his S1 to shred. And for some reason, if you pick this talent, you get mana recovery. I mean, maybe this means that he doesn't need any kind of mana support and he can just run without any. Every 10 seconds increases magic damage all enemies take by 30% for 15 seconds. That's not bad. I mean, 30% is a quite nice damage increase, and it has a pretty good uptime. You can, and this is passive. You don't need to do anything with it. It's just applied while he's around. So, not bad, not bad. Okay. Let's see what else we have. So, we have checked his skills and perks. Now let's see how things get changed with his unique treasures and his unique weapon. So, unique weapon, here we go. So the Nocturnal Demonic Sword increases his speed. Yeah, so he will be able to spam a lot of attacks and increases the damage of his normal attacks. So yeah, this seems to be like tailoring him towards normal attacks and attack speed and spamming his S1. Could be useful in some situations. Umbral Demonic Sword recovers mana by 80 every sec, so PvP, I guess it helps if you can spam his skills. Darkslayer Demonic Sword Veil increases own attack by 10% and crit damage by 10% every 10 seconds. Can stack up to 3 times, so that's 30% each at 0 star. If we go up all the way to 5 star, then he gets 500 attack speed. Yeah, so he will be like an attack speed monster. Normal attacks will hit 50% harder. In PvP mode, he gets 200 mana per second. That's not bad. And 25% attack and crit damage every 10 seconds. So after 3 stacks, that's 75 attack and crit damage. That's not bad. That's a quite hefty DPS boost. And remember, if he's using this sword, then his S3 is also ignoring defense. So that might be pretty dope for PvE. You also have to consider that, say, if you run oddly, then you can do this twice in a row. Okay, okay. Now let's check the unique treasures, because those can really mess things up and change things around. Say hello to death. So this is his S3 skill. Increases damage and gains immunity, so you won't be interrupted. This is PvE tailored 50% damage increase at 5-star. So his main nuke can be increased by 50%. That's not bad. We will see how good it is, but it's not bad. Okay, so this is his S2, the PvP skill. Reduces mana cost by 1, and after the movement gains immunity to CC. So this is reducing the mana cost by 1, and I believe if you pick that sword, it also reduces it once again. So essentially, he gets a 0 mana silence, which he can follow up with his other skill, which will then move him to the highest attacker, and he will be immune to CC. Jesus. So yeah, yeah, because this reduces the mana cost by 1, and selecting the PvP sword also reduces the mana cost, or doesn't it? Let me just quickly check that. Or am I mixing up things here? Front. Where is he? Kibera. So yeah, so 2 mana. Yeah, if Umbral Demonic Sword is selected, the mana cost of this skill is reduced by 1. And if you have that unique treasure, then you will also that also reduces by 1. So essentially it's a 0 mana cost spell now. And in Guild War this would apply to everyone. In like League of Victory or League of Honor, you could use this to instant silence with him. Remember, that's 2-second silence on a self-cleanse skill, which means that I'm guessing it's uninterruptible, like with Scarlet. So essentially, you can counter silence Leo and Cassandra with this without being interrupted, because he is cleansing himself with the same skill. Ah, that's dope. Yeah, I think that actually would work. I don't really do PvP that much, but yeah, I think that would actually work. Man, that's gonna hurt. Wait, that's not that. Okay. So yeah, reduces mana cost by 1, and this doesn't scale with the stars, so it could be a 0-star skill and already give you that, or 0-star unique treasure, and you would already get this. So you can instant silence after selecting your skill, cleanse yourself, and then move to the highest attacker while being immune to CC yourself. And this is a 0 mana skill, the second part, so essentially it's a 0 mana jumper, like just like plus again with SSV. Oh man, Vespa, what did you do? Alright. This is his S1 skill. You better pay attention. Increases damage by 50%. Yep. It's probably not a too high damage skill, but every time Kibera hits an enemy with normal attacks, or you better pay attention, increases own crit damage by 1%. This effect can be stacked up to 100 times, so that's 200. No, that's 100 crit damage. Sorry, but if you start this up, so the 50% part doesn't scale, but the crit damage does. So 250 crit damage. Together with his unique weapon, that was 75, right? So he gets more than 325% crit damage with this setup. But this is his S1, and I think it's his S3 that's really giving the damage. So 250 crit damage. That's nothing to really shrug off, really. So would need to do some tests there, which gives more crit damage or more base damage to his S3. Depends how well his S1 scales. It might be that his S1 becomes like comparable to his S3. And then the 3 demonic swords, so UT4. Grants effects to all allies depending on the selected sword. So if you have this one, depending on which sword you pick, all allies will receive the buff, and if there are 3 or less allies, all effects are multiplied by 2 times. So essentially, okay, so let's see. Increases attack speed of all allies by 100% for 30 seconds. Okay, so 250. That's kinda useless. I wouldn't use this anywhere. You don't need attack speed anywhere, so I don't think for this use this is good. But let's see. Umbral Demonic Sword reduces all damage all allies take by 25%. Remember, this is doubled in Guild War when you only have 3 characters. So 50% damage reduction for 30 seconds. I guess this is dispellable, but just essentially you could use Kibera as a tank. Even if you don't pick his UT2, you can still just cast that skill with 1 mana. And for 30 seconds you will have 50% damage reduction. You could have like a Kibera tank and just use a priest and then the DPS or something stupid like that. Alright, that's pretty dope. And let's see, his Darkslayer Demonic Sword increases attack of all allies by 25%. If there are 3 or less allies, all effects multiply by 2 times. So, I don't know, 25% attack is not bad, but it's also not terribly great. Maybe if you are like trying to speedrun something where you take him, maybe like Satria solo challenge raid, and you need him to shred the shield and also want to give attack to your characters, then this might be good. But then you wouldn't be running 3 characters or less, so you would only get 25%. So all in all, I think this is most useful in Guild War actually, if you want to make a super tanky team using Kibera. But otherwise, I think it will be either his unique treasure 2, this one. This will be extremely dope in all PvP situations, I think. And his unique treasure 3 also could be pretty good. 50% damage increase on a skill that's on a long cooldown, but it ignores defense in that mode where he's already gaining a lot of attack and crit damage anyway from his unique weapon. Yeah, that could be pretty nice. I think for PV, definitely this one, unless his skill 1 scales really well. Now in game we can't check the soul weapons yet. I wonder if they will ever add something to that. But let's see what we have for his soul weapons. I already have it here. So you can activate it after a certain period of time. So this is not based on skill use. Unique skill summons the soul of Midnight Demonic Swords, Night Sky, and Dark Shadow and Veil. So all the swords. Launching a blow to enemies within wide frontal range of self that deals damage. So this is a frontal attack, but AoE. Inflicts stun and reduces mana. Afterward, increases own attack for a few seconds and deals magic damage to random enemy over 4 hits every few sec. But thank you, few sec, what the hell? At least give us some proper numbers. Right. Additional effects will be applied depending on Kibera's selected sword. Nocturnal Demonic Sword, Night Sky, increases damage dealt, okay. Increases damage dealt to enemies, so this is like a buff that all of your characters do. Might be. Umbral Demonic Sword reduces attack of hit enemies, so this is like a tank thing, but don't know if you would use this anywhere. Darkslayer Demonic Sword, the damage ignores defense, so yeah, it seems like this is planned to be his DPS stance. This is more like a support stance, and this is his PvP but here it doesn't really do anything. And they don't show yet here what you get for advancing the soul weapon. I'll try and hunt down someone who has it already, because I know some people already do, sorry. And then we can see from there. Okay, so basically this is Kibera. Oh yeah, and we also got him a costume. Like, if I don't particularly like it that much, just gave it a quick check. Hmm. Yeah, I like this better. It looks at least like something you might wear. Well, it's not. Doesn't really look like armor. It's just, I don't know. Hmm. Has some Cloud Strife vibes, especially with those earrings. But yeah, so this is Kibera. Seems very heavy on PvP and especially Guild War. Um, might be good in PvE. Depends how good the damage on those skills are. We'll have to check that one out after I level and transcend him and get some additional information. And then we can see how well he scales with those. He definitely has potential due to the ignore defense mechanics and the massive self buffs that he can get. So could be good, could be bad. I think a double S3 combo from him might be very, very good. Maybe on Xenadis, maybe on World Boss 1. We'll see. He's a melee unit, so may not work that well on challenge raids, but that's yet to be seen. Okay, guys, so this was the quick roundup about Kibera. Um, I'll take a few days probably to get him to the proper level and everything, and then see if I can give you some more info on him. Until then, I've been Cloud. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.